Yo, what is going on, guys? Hope everyone's having a fantastic day. So I'm going to go over some updates for the Philadelphia Eagles within our roster. Sunday night this week, a Sunday night game at Lincoln Financial Field against the Green Bay Packers. Definitely some updates here for the coaching staff as well. Some news that is starting to come out because I think as the season is dimming down, we're going to hear some news about the coaching staff and what's going on. So let's get straight into it.
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
What is going on, guys? Hope everyone's having a fantastic day. So some insightful news from the Philadelphia Eagles when it comes to this coaching staff of what happens after this year or what coaches are going to get calls. Now, there's been some news from Jay Fowler from ESPN. He came out with a post-day, an update for the Philadelphia Eagles coaching staff, talking about Jonathan Gannon as defensive coordinator and Shane Steichen as the offensive coordinator. Says Shane Steichen and defensive coordinator Jonathan Gannon are expected to be interviewed heavily this offseason head coaching cycle. Per Jay Fowler, says Eagles very well could lose both of these coordinators, which I could believe it actually could happen. Gannon, I'm not going to cry as much as he was trying to get a head coaching job last year or before this year happened, and I was kind of praying that it was going to happen. I was like, I don't care if somebody take him, whether it was Minnesota, whether it was the Houston Texans. I thought the Houston Texans was very close to sign him as the head coach, as much as I think Lovie Smith deserved a second shot as a head coach in the NFL. Theoretically, okay, I definitely see Jonathan Gannon gone. If this is with him, if it's a success or a failure, I think he is done regardless. Okay, Shane Steichen is the one that I kind of have been 50-50 on because I know Nick and him are very close. They've coached together before, but you know, this is a 9-1 team right now, and you know, the best teams, that other teams that have no head coaches are going to move on from their head coaches, are going to look for guys that could fill in, and you look at the best teams for that and how good they are with quarterbacks. Probably not even just these two guys. Okay, Brian Johnson is another one. Obviously, he's been around Jalen Hurts' career for so long. Brian Johnson, I think, is a very underrated coach right now for the quarterback position, just coaching up Jalen Hurts and what he's done with him so far. I think he might actually maybe become an offensive coordinator, or he might, I don't know, who knows. I think Brian Johnson's definitely up for a role with another staff, you know, going into next year in 2023. Shane Steichen, look, if it's just say both of these guys do walk, who is going to take over here? As I could probably see it turning out, Vic Fangio is your new defensive coordinator, and probably Frank Reich and Nick will be back together once again in Philadelphia. I mean, they worked together before when Sirianni was the coordinator, and Sirianni was Frank Reich's left-hand man, in Indianapolis. So I think realistically, both of these guys could be gone. As much as I think maybe the Eagles can maybe persuade Shane Steichen to stay, but who knows? Maybe at the end of the year we're not going to feel great about Shane Steichen. Maybe we're going to feel like we're going to need a change with this offense. I don't know. Gannon, I'm probably not going to care as much. Vic Fangio would definitely take his spot in a heartbeat. I mean, I would think Vic Fangio would be next in line just because, Vic Fangio took the year off. He didn't want to coach this year. He just wanted to be a consultant. Whatever the hell he does here, which I still don't know since he's a consultant, I have no idea what he does with the Philadelphia Eagles. Obviously not giving – I mean, they just hired Marcus Brady, so I don't know what Vic Fangio is doing on this staff as a consultant right now. So I'm still trying to figure that out. But this is just an update, guys, on both these coaches, and both of them could be gone after this year. So don't be surprised because, you know, the better teams that are out there right now with good records and get far and get into the playoffs, you know, your coaches are in line to be taken away from your franchise. And it doesn't mean just because they're going to talk to other coaches doesn't mean they're interested in going somewhere else. They're going to explore their options. They can always stay here. You know, Shane Steichen, I think, is a 50-50 that he might leave or might stay. But I think Gannon is definitely going to go. I think he'll seek opportunity somewhere else. But I think Shane might too. I mean, look, that's just an opinion of mine that I have. And I think you already have the coaches lined up. How would you feel about Frank Reich being an offensive coordinator and taking over the full-time, play calling? And I heard even with the Colts that Frank called most of the plays when Nick was there. So obviously Nick's not play calling. Nick was calling the plays last year in 21 for the first 6-7 games. Obviously, we didn't run the ball or nothing. You got Shane Steichen, that was from a run-heavy offense with the Chargers. You got Nick Sirianni as the first-time head coach last year when, they were a big run-heavy offense with the Colts. And they were missing that run game for so long. And I feel like we still are in the first half of games, guys. Miles Sanders, they're not running enough with him, and it's still making me angry. So that's the news on the coaching staff, and this is more of the end-of-the-year type thing, but definitely something to keep an eye on and watch out for. Secondly, A.J. Brown is back at practice. Thank friggin' God. A stomach bug, apparently. That's why he was out. It was illness, so it had to have been something not as serious, but he had apparently a very serious stomach bug, was not feeling good. He was in bed all day for Thanksgiving, so at least he's back. Is he 100%? I have no idea. I guess we'll find out. Which is interesting. Devontae Smith is still, I don't know. I haven't heard anything about Devontae Smith today. I don't know nothing today, yesterday, besides him being limited with a knee. I haven't heard much from him. So they haven't said that Devontae Smith is playing, but he probably is. I haven't heard any news that he's not going to be playing. So we'll see. Nothing on Devontae Smith yet. Lastly, I want to go over Nick's comments on Quez, why Quez is not, and I think we talked about this a bunch of times, obviously. Quez Watkins not being enough, is not getting enough reps in this offense. Why do they not scheme him as much as we want him to be schemed? Even when they faced Washington, guys, I really liked, even besides his own fumble that he totally messed up on, which was a big catch that could have won us that damn game we would still be undefeated at this point. I feel like, even that little end around play with Quez and just the speed, man, we haven't seen Quez's speed in so long. And, I would love to. I think you have to work with whatever defense, what it gives you. And Nick has already said, this offense, even from the beginning of the season, he told Quez Watkins that the offense will be running through, it will be based off of Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. It runs through them first, and obviously this quarterback and obviously this running back too. So Quez is kind of the odd man out of when plays come his way, they will come his way. Same as Zach Pascal, does a lot of the dirty blocking, but when he gets opportunity, because you can set off and kind of mess up some defenses that you're playing against because they won't know that these other guys are going to get catches because they never get catches. With Zach Pascal had the touchdown against the Steelers, things like that. You're like, okay, cool. You get some guys the ball that they're not going to expect them to get the ball. But Quez Watkins, I definitely miss his explosiveness. And this offense obviously did not play well. Has not played well at all the past couple weeks. And it's fundamentals. It's penalties. It's shooting yourselves in the foot way too many times on drives. I mean, the problem wasn't getting to the other side of the field. I thought they got to the other side of the field too well, but they got to stay balanced. They can't make it predictable that they're gonna pass every single play because they're gonna dial up blitzes and you're gonna get blindsided. You're gonna fumble the ball. The defense is gonna cause turnovers on us, and you got to run with Miles Sanders. That's the way it's got to go. And then you can add the play action, add the RPO, whatever you want to do. Definitely do it and get it done. So with Quez Watkins, I don't think Nick is trying to say that he's the odd man out, but yes, your two top weapons are definitely Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. There's no doubt about it. And I know people talk about Quez, and why don't they use Devontae Smith on go routes, which they have from time to time, but it's not their favorite thing to do. They like using Devontae Smith in open space. They like him getting those yak yards, and trying to get the ball to him, especially when Jalen Hurts can extend plays. Forget about it. I think he does a fantastic job trying to find Devontae Smith, and Devontae Smith is such a good player, so not really worried about that too much. But Quez Watkins will get his catches. Like I said, if he's not schemed every week, they will find him. If they will throw to him if they have to throw to him. But I thought he redeemed himself against the Colts with the touchdown in the end zone. Obviously, the Washington game, kind of botched that fumble and got up. Just should have stayed on the ground, and Eagles probably could have won that game. So, unfortunately, there was a lot of self-inflicting wounds in that Washington game. Then going to the Colts game, I thought Quez did fine. And, sometimes we might have to rely on Quez just a little bit. So, at this point, I am totally 100% fine with it. And I think with the, Green Bay secondary this week, I don't think Rasul Douglas is a fantastic man-to-man player, and I think either Rasul Douglas, Jair Alexander is going to be on A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith. I think Quez Watkins should have a big day. And I think because Dallas Goedert is not back yet, you're using Jack Stahl, these tight ends. What's going to happen with that whole situation? Because even the tight ends didn't really impress me either. year. Calcaterra and Tyree Jackson have barely any playing time this year. And they caused some penalties, and it just looked really sloppy. No Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert seems like the big safety blanket because he's my number 3 tight end of the whole entire year in the NFL. I think he's a top 3 tight end. There's no doubt about it. Besides Travis Kelce and George Kittle, the whole tight end position got to figure it out, man. Got to figure it out because look, 2 other guys had to play. For just for reasons, but Dallas Goedert is out, so you're bringing 2 guys that Calcaterra had 1 play in the second half, week 3 against Washington, and Tyree Jackson is literally coming off an ACL and hasn't played 1 snap this year. No OTAs, no training camp, no preseason games, no nothing. Off the PUP list, ready to go. So hopefully we see more out of this tight end group. And if we can't, okay, you're going to use the tight end group for the run block or whatever. You use the 2 tight end sets, however you want to use it. But if you don't want to throw these tight ends, give Quez more of a shot. Give Zach Pascal more of a shot. Give these other receivers more of a shot if you have to. So, so I get where Nick is going with Quez. It's, everything's not phased around Quez, which I know it's not. I mean, we know who the better receivers are, even though Quez I still think is a very, very good receiver. You still have Quez for another year on this roster. So you're going to have the same receiver core going into next year as well, which is good before, then Quez will be a free agent after 23. So let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about, obviously, the coaching update that Shane Steichen and Jonathan Gannon could be gone after this year. Who would you replace them with? A.J. Brown is back, but is he 100%? Is he going to be good enough? And obviously, the whole Nick Sirianni talking about Quez Watkins and kind of putting him in this offense. Do you think they're phasing him out too much? Do you think they should give him the ball a lot more? Because those explosive plays will come, man. He just can't shoot himself in the foot. He redeemed himself last week against the Colts. The Washington game, he totally just botched that. And then before that, we really didn't see nothing until an explosive play from him since really Monday night against the Vikings. That was like the last time we saw anything from him that was that explosive. So, other than that, guys, pretty much it. I will see you guys on the next one. You have a fantastic day. SHAKESQUAD up, follow, so peace out, guys. Peace.